It began with a betrayal so public, so humiliating, that everyone in the office whispered about it for weeks. The conference room was packed. Every department head, every manager, every ambitious employee was seated around that long, polished table. At the head sat Mr. Walters, the CEO. Next to him sat Claudia, the heroine of our story. She sat calmly, hands folded in her lap, eyes lowered, her expression unreadable. But then, Mr. Walters raised his voice. "Claudia," he announced, his voice dripping with disdain, "your performance has been a colossal disappointment." The words echoed like gunshots. Gasps filled the room. He wasn't done. "You've failed to deliver on this project. You've embarrassed this company, and now you're no longer part of this team." Silence. Everyone stared at Claudia. Her colleagues looked shocked, horrified, yet secretly satisfied. Some were whispering, others staring at her with smug delight. And Claudia? She didn't flinch. She simply nodded, calmly, silently. But what they didn't know was that she was hiding a plan that would completely change the course of events. They thought she was defeated. They thought she'd walk out, head down, crushed by public humiliation. But Claudia had learned long ago that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it waits, quietly, patiently. She walked out of that room with grace, not a single word spoken. But inside, the countdown had already begun. Visual cue, 30 days until everything changes. Let's go back. Months earlier, Claudia had been assigned to lead a high-stakes project, a global product launch. She poured everything into it, long nights, countless revisions, endless meetings. She anticipated problems before they arose. She crafted solutions no one else had even considered. But along the way, jealous eyes began to watch her, one in particular, Mason, her colleague, competitor, and the CEO's favored protege. He wanted the glory for himself, and he wasn't afraid to play dirty. What Claudia didn't know, until it was too late, was that Mason had been sabotaging her project from the inside. He redirected files, changed data points, deleted crucial emails, all without leaving a visible trace, until the final presentation. That's when everything unraveled. The project looked like a disaster. The numbers didn't add up. The client walked away, furious. And Claudia, she was blamed for all of it. They called her incompetent, careless, a complete failure. But as the boardroom door closed behind her that day, Claudia didn't feel rage. She felt clarity, because now she was free to act without restraint. And she had a plan. The first week after her dismissal, she didn't retaliate. She rested, she recentered, she visited her favorite bookstore, took long walks, and let her mind clear. Because the calm before the storm is always the most dangerous. Visual cue, 25 days until Revenge Day. By the second week, she began quietly reaching out to former clients. Not to gossip, not to seek sympathy, just to listen, to understand what had gone wrong. And what she discovered shocked her. Multiple clients admitted they were unhappy with the company, but not because of her project. They had been misled. Documents had been altered after her dismissal. Errors that weren't hers were now being covered up under Mason's watch. And some clients missed Claudia. They missed her meticulousness, her honesty, her professionalism. Claudia took notes, carefully, silently. By the third week, the company started noticing problems. Clients grew distant, emails went unanswered, projects stalled. But the shock didn't stop there. Internal leaks began to surface. Reports appeared in industry blogs about poor leadership, mismanagement, and insider backstabbing. No names were mentioned, but everyone knew who was being exposed. And still, Claudia said nothing. Visual cue, 10 days until everything changes. During the final week, Claudia made her move. She launched her own consulting firm. Quietly, no press releases, no flashy announcements, just a simple website and a private email list, sent only to those who trusted her. And within 48 hours, her inbox overflowed. Clients asking for consultations, former partners offering collaboration. Even some of her ex-coworkers, those who had once mocked her, reached out, desperate for advice. But Claudia wasn't done. She had one final step. Visual cue. One day until the shocking ending. The night before her final move, Claudia attended an industry gala. Everyone was there, executives, clients, competitors. She walked in, calm and composed, wearing a simple but elegant dress. People whispered as she passed, some in awe, some in fear. She approached Mr. Walters and Mason, standing smugly by the bar. Their faces went pale. Claudia smiled. "I heard the company is struggling," she said softly. Mr. Walters forced a tight smile. Mason couldn't even look at her. She continued, her voice still calm.